Hi guys, welcome back to the Kanani and Weinman YouTube channel. Mr. Beal here with another social skills lesson. Today we're going to be talking about handling name calling. Do you know what that means? That has to do with people having names that are not their actual names being called to them. So instead of saying Mr. Beal, they maybe say something that's not so nice to try to tease. That's called name calling. And we need to learn how to calmly handle that when we feel frustrated or overwhelmed by that. There's a couple friends here who are here to help us a little bit. And I want them to try a game out today. And we'll see how the game goes. So I'm going to see if they're willing to try it. Hi, Puppy and Snail. Hi, Mr. Beal. Oh, hi, Snail. How are you? I'm okay. So I want you guys to do a game today. That game that new game we talked about. Do you know how we play that? You're a slowy moey. A slow down showdown. Well, you're a puppy wuppy. Well, you're a snaily whaley. You're a doggy woggy. Well, you're a slimy climby. Oh boy. Snail, are you okay? Oh. Puppy, that didn't look like that went so well. I don't think he liked that word. That word seemed like it might have hurt his feelings. Name games might seem like fun. But that wasn't the game I was planning on playing with them. I was planning on playing Simon Says, but it seemed like Puppy seemed to start a different game. It might have seemed fun at first, but it didn't look like it ended well. But I'm glad that we can talk about this today because it's really important. We're going to talk about how to handle name calling. But first, before we get started with that, I'm going to need you to go get your discussion buddy and come back ready to discuss. Go ahead and pause the video and get your discussion buddy. Okay. Well, I hope you're back, and I'm going to tell you a story about a couple other people who had a problem. They had a similar problem to Puppy and Snail that had to do with name calling. Let's take a look. So in this picture, you have Javon and Layla. This is Javon, and this is Layla. I want you to make a hypothesis with your discussion buddy. That means a good guess that you guys can talk about to decide and figure out what's happening in this photo. Go ahead and pause the video and make a hypothesis. Okay, well, I hope you're able to make a good guess about what was happening with Javon and Layla and why it might have been happening. Let's see if you're right. So, Javon and Layla are having lunch at school. When Javon tried to open his milk, he dropped it and the milk spilled. Layla called him a mean name, teasing him for spilling the milk. Javon feels like crying. He feels like calling Layla a name back at her. Think now for a minute about how Javon is feeling. Pause the video and discuss. Okay, so did you think that Javon is feeling good about what happened? If your answer is no, you're correct. He is feeling sad, angry, or upset. And we can see that by looking at his face. His eyes are down, his shoulders are down, and he is not smiling. You can see he's sad, angry, or upset about what happened. Now, he feels like calling Layla a mean name. If he does it, will it make things better or worse? Pause the video and discuss. Well, I hope you're able to discuss whether if he were to call Layla a name would have made things better or worse. I hope you said that it would make things worse, because calling someone else a name is only going to make someone else mad too. And if you have two mad people, you have a problem. Okay, so in this situation, Javon and Layla are struggling by being mad Javon is feeling mad at Layla, and Layla was teasing Javon. What does Javon need to do next? Let's think. His first thing is he needs to calm down. Now, what are the steps for calming down? We've talked about them a few different times in these videos. I want you to pause the video and discuss how they could solve their problem. But first, what should Javon do first? I think I maybe gave you a little sneak peek there on accident. Oops. Pause the video. Okay, well, Javon needs to stop, right? He needs to stop before he does something like say a mean name or hit or yell or kick or anything else bad. He needs to stop first, right? And he needs to be able to name his feeling and then calm down. So let's pretend we're Javon and we're going to do that. We're going to stop and we're going to walk over to take a break. We're going to sit. Then we're going to name our feeling and we're going to say, I feel mad because Layla was picking on me or teasing me. She called me a name I didn't like. I feel mad. Then we're going to open our toolbox and we're going to start breathing. And we can start with 5-finger breathing. Ready? And we do that over and over until we feel like our brain, our emotional brain is come down. Because when we're mad, we are in our emotional brain, not our thinking brain. And when we're in our emotional brain, we will do things like yelling, calling names, kicking, hitting, things like that that are not safe and respectful. So once Javon is calm, now we can go to our problem-solving steps. Okay? We need to start with the first one. Say the problem. So, what is a good way Javon should say the problem? He first needs to make sure that when he says the problem, he's calm. So we've done the calm. Now he's going to identify the problem. He's going to use self-talk when he does it. So, the problem is Javon was called a name and his feelings are hurt. Right? That's the problem. He was called a name and now his feelings are hurt. So then we're going to go to the next one, which is what? It's think of solutions. He's going to think of a way to solve that problem that's safe and respectful for him and Layla. So now is the time for you to discuss with your discussion buddy. Think right now about what solutions that you could think of to help Javon and Layla solve their problem. Go ahead and pause the video and discuss. Okay, here's a few ideas that Javon came up with and see if they fit some of yours. He could tell the teacher, but what would happen if he told the teacher? Would he be solving it with Layla, or would the teacher be solving it for him? Maybe that would be that might be the okay solution, but maybe not the best. The second one is he could tell Layla he doesn't like being called names. So that's where Javon would need to have an assertive, calm voice. He would need to use a friendly, calm voice and tell Layla that what she said wasn't nice and he didn't like it, right? The last one he could pick is ignore her. And then that would be walking away and not talking to her about how he feels. So, ignoring if students do things to you is a safe way, at least, to solve a problem. Now, ignoring means oftentimes walking away from the situation, not just sitting there quietly. It means walking away. So now, the next step, open that toolbox, and Javon needs to do what? Think with your discussion buddy. What tool does he need to use next? Pause the video. Okay, so he has said the problem, he's thought of solutions. Now he needs to use that tool that we pulled out, self-talk, and he needs to tell himself something. He needs to say, I'm going to calmly walk away from Layla. So he's going to tell himself, instead of calling Layla a name, instead of telling a teacher and having them solve it, for now he's going to get himself all the way calm. So he calmed down and he decided with self-talk, the best response for now is to ignore Layla and walk away from her. So here's what happens. So Javon walks away and he wipes up his milk and ignores Layla. Layla finishes her lunch and she leaves. Now, did they solve the problem together? Did they reconcile together? Are they still friends, or could they still be kind of mad at each other? I think they could still be mad. So let's pretend that ignoring didn't work. Let's pretend he ignored her, but Layla kept coming after him and saying things that might not be nice. Let's think about if Javon was assertive and he uses self-talk and he says, I'm going to talk to Layla, but I'm going to talk to her in a calm way. It might sound something like this. I don't like being called names. I want you to stop calling me names. Those are ways that he could talk to her. And then again, another option he came up with was saying, Layla, it's not okay to call me names. I want you to stop. And he keeps his voice calm, and he keeps a friendly interaction with her. And most importantly, he looks at Layla in the eye and tells her that. He keeps eye contact so that Layla knows he's talking to her and that he is not going to run away, but he's going to talk to her about the problem, and that helps them solve the problem. And guess what Layla says? Layla says, I am sorry. I am sorry I called you that name, and I know it's not the right thing to do. So, there's a lot of different ways to solve the problem. We came up with two of them. One was ignoring, and another one was talking directly to the person. It's always really better to talk to the person because then you can work it out with them. But sometimes you do need to ignore and walk away. And even more, there are times you may even need to tell a teacher and have them help you solve the problem. Because sometimes problems get too big to solve by yourself. So, it's important to practice being assertive and talking to the person and helping them understand what you're feeling, but doing it with a calm voice. Okay. I think I hear them talking again. Here they come again. Puppy and Snail, what are you guys doing here again? Well, I just wanted the class to know that I am sorry. More importantly, hey Snail, I'm sorry I called you a name. I shouldn't have done that. Thank you, Snail. Or Puppy. Thank you, Puppy, for saying sorry. I feel much better now. Well, that's great. Two guys who walked away with the problem not solved, and now it's solved. I love when people come together to try to solve a problem and they talk to each other in an assertive, calm way. That can really help solve problems. So with that, sometimes you're going to have people do things that you're not going to like, or say things to you that you're not going to like. It's important to stop, name your feeling, and calm down. And then after that, use self-talk to say, I'm going to calmly talk to this person about the problem, and then go to them and solve the problem. Maybe if it's too hard, there might be times where you can walk away, but it's probably a good idea to talk to a grown-up about the problem so you don't keep your problem inside your heart. When we stay mad in our hearts, the problem doesn't go away, and the next time we see that person, we might still be mad at them. So it's super important that we stay calm and be assertive. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day.